If the biggest news so far that we got is the biggest news so far for Walsh secures coal tax credit for Indian country. Job creating measure extended for 2 years. And I think most of you know what the tax credit is, but just kind of a background. In 2006, Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, was threatening to shut down Westmoreland coal mine, or the Sarpy coal mine, the Upsalaga mine, because of high sulfur content. And at the time, myself and the late Andrew Wodow, we've been going back to DC a few times. Late Chairman Van was also there. I think Bill was at a lot of those meetings when they threatened to shut this down, and it would have meant losing not only jobs but also the revenue from the coal mine. And at the time, then Senator Conrad Burns and then Senator Max Baucus, both of them aren't in office anymore, but they both, we talked to them. Baucus was the one that, being in finance, said, why don't we do a tax credit for buying Indian coal? And there's only 3 tribes, Navajo, Hopi, and Crow, that have coal. And so this tax credit was created back in '06, expired in 2011, expired 2012, extended 1 year to 2013. And at the end of 2013, it expired. So all last summer, Canute was on one trip with me, and then other senators were on another trip, and then this recent one where Carlos and the group that went this last trip, Paul, Eric, and Brandon was there. We talked to Wyden's staff, the chief of staff, and we had 2, one from Walsh and one from Tester's office, staffers kind of pushing this for us. So, all of the work we did as collectively as a group, we didn't have anybody vote on this. They did a straw vote in committee. Nobody voted for the tax credit. But Walsh, Canute was at the meeting where we asked him to, push Wyden to have this on the extenders. And for now, we passed committee. We made it past committee. Next vote will be on the floor. And I'm pretty optimistic that it's going to pass. And if this doesn't pass, then we'll be 3 million short this year. But hopefully it passes, and we'll continue. And then next year's the tax credit supposed to be, let's say, 47 million. For next, 46, 47 million. And we don't know where they got that number, but for years it's been like 10 million. But hopefully, after they monetize, then we'll know the exact once it passes. So that's how important this tax credit is. It keeps our mind open, keeps our all of our revenue coming in as a tribe. So this tax credit is important, and we've asked for just an extension. And by then, all of our economic development push that we're making, hopefully by then we're starting to see, additional revenue. We're not just mining of coal. So we've asked 2 years for now until at the end of that, after this fall, whatever happens with the election, then we'll start pushing to make it permanent. But I think the push now is to get it extended for 2 years, and then within this 2 years, we can work on getting it extended permanently, which is going to help us into the future with coal liquids and all the other stuff coming in. So that's just the background on tax credit. So it passed the finance committee, which initially we didn't have any votes, but it still passed. So that's something that we got to give Walsh and Tester credit for, because they really pushed this tax credit on the Senate side. And now on the House side, we gotta ask Danes to push it on the House side as well, so we're in a unique position. We have a Democrat-controlled Senate and a Republican-controlled House, where we only have 3 representatives, but they're doing good work for us up there. This next one is a concept drawing from the 30,000 from the coal board, and Senator Stewart instrumental in getting us the planning funding 30,000, and we bid out, and Wolmer and Associates were the winning bid, and they did a concept drawing on the harbor, and we secured some funds, 200,000, to go towards this, and we wanted to make it more of a multi-functional facility instead of just the Powell Harbor. And if you look in there, we asked to make it more of a stage, kind of an entertainment venue, where other, not just Crow Fair, but throughout the year we can utilize it as a kind of a multi-functional facility. So this is just a conceptual drawing, just for your information. We have 200,000 already secured. The total project is 300,000, so we're working on 100,000 right now. But this conceptual drawing for the harbor, and I believe Wolmer was here talking with you guys as well on this. So whatever ideas you had, whatever thoughts you had, was incorporated into this Powell Harbor. But we wanted to use it more of a multifunctional project, and so this is just a drawing of the kind of the final draft will be in this week, but I think it's going to be similar to what we have here. But that's the Powell Harbor. The next one is the grant from the Shakopee on the economic development grant. I've been meeting almost every week with the housing or with the casino to kind of push this forward. For the horse racing and the casino, we're working on getting at least 11 race dates this year to get the horse racing off the ground, and the board is already in place. The casino is already looking at equipment, other sources of revenue also to contribute to this. That's the community grant, economic development grant that we received from Shakopee. And right now we're prioritizing what upgrades we would need at the track, and casino is looking at purchasing other like cameras and the equipment they would need to upgrade the track, and at the same time looking at putting machines at the grandstand during these 11 days, which will run from first weekend of August all the way to second weekend of September. 11 race dates with Indian relay and horse racing, and we have a kind of an estimate of how many jobs that will create, kind of a revenue with. So we'll be bringing that as soon as the casino and the board of horse racing and all the entities involved, once they're ready, we'll present a kind of a horse racing economic development plan with you at that time. But that's just a FYI, how much money came from Shakopee in form of a grant. We did write a proposal along with the casino board and the board of horse racing, and we were awarded 612,000 for horse racing and also the casino upgrades and other areas. And then I know there's been a big concern on the housing, for cap holds, but right now, I didn't have a copy here. Copy in that, yeah. See, does they make copies, any questions so far on any of these, this report?
Speaker. Floor is Federal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the body. I guess the Welfare Harbor timeline is we're gonna make this year's. Be ready for this year's budget.
Again, concept drawing it at, by next week, you have, we're gonna do the request for proposals for the 200,000. Again, the deadline, it is August 1st, that's what we're shooting for the construction. And, again, the request for proposals and the construction, the timeline, that's what we're kind of working on. And, once I get more information on the construction, 1 week in and advertise it, but then we're gonna go right to construction. So again, email half of the crew, once they're hired on, will demo the current arbor, and then construction will start, I'd say, first part of May, and their deadline, we're shooting for August 1st.
And a question, Chairman, Nashaki, this doesn't even have to deal with, not even phase 2, that's not Kagala Grant, Dakota Dollar, it's okay, is that?
Grant, Gilmagal, and horse racing, Niger, and casino upgrade, and there's phase 2, I think it's kind of basically like to phase 2, Leeway, there's a planning grant, you have 200,000 to build track and planning. So again, putting the track and the phase 2 together, full of planning, paid 50,000, look at that. This money will go to the planning of phase 2.
So we're gonna go with them for phase 2?
No, not the grant that we applied for. And
So no strings attached,
No
not
strings
yet,
attached, no.
yeah, alright.
Floor is Conrad.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, Secretary, members, I guess, on the issue with Walsh, it's great to see these senators and congressmen really work hard to make some things happen in Indian country, but, just like I told Jim Corson, if it wasn't for Ben's Gazette, I probably never knew what this guy looked like, because he doesn't come around. Right now, we got Congressman Daines coming in. He's scheduled for Friday, 1:30.
I think he's gonna reschedule and have it on Saturday in Bozeman, because Friday, Westmoreland, I talked to him this morning, and Daines, he's gonna reschedule for Cole visit for, in the future. He's gonna have a breakfast in Bozeman on Saturday. That email is probably sent out now, but he's the one that said Cole visit when everybody's going to be in town right now. I think Friday we have a USDA meeting in Bozeman on Friday, and then so that's where I'm going to be. So I think the other two officials said they weren't going to make it as well, Dana and AJ. So we said we'll just have a set aside the whole day on the coal mine, and then have a breakfast meeting on Saturday in Bozeman.
I think the visit was only just to talk to the legislative branch, But that was kind of the thought here. I guess if we got intercepted, that's fine. I guess Ryan Zinke's coming in too. We don't even know who the Democratic congressional guy is, and so that'll probably get intercepted too, I guess. But as far as these folks coming in, my concern was we were here, the majority of the branch was here, Walsh came, Ryder came here, and I think that we would expect some respect as well too, being the largest voting block in the Pro-Nation here. So, that'd be nice, if we can get some of that, you know, to come over here, because I know they contacted us and they wanted to come here at 1:30 on Friday. And I've never received anything yet, but I'm sure we probably will, I guess. So, the other issue I had was, on the city of, Lodge Grass. Isn't this the issue of, a hazard, fire danger, whatnot, putting our people in a whole group of people in a situation of danger? Because right now, you know, the city of Lodge Grass put in for a grant with the coal board, and they were funded $200,000 to, and in that grant, it's supposed to cover the housing as well as the town. Now, if they wanna draw lines in the sand, then it's gonna hurt their chances of receiving any of that funding. And I don't know where that's at. Could you give us an explanation on what the, I guess, differences are?
Well, when the housing director gives his report, I'm pretty sure he'll bring it up, but what I know now is the housing and the city of Lodge Grass have been negotiating on an MOU with the city and the housing, but you know, they're kind of breached that negotiation now, saying that they're gonna shut off the water up to the housing area. They're in breach of that negotiation, so we don't know what's gonna happen. That's why we're all gonna show up there. I think some people are resigning from the city council, and some are being appointed. And then the mayor, there's kind of a whole mess going on over there, what's happening. So we're just, housing is gonna be there along with their attorney, and I think the city's attorney is Mr. Arneson, so that they were negotiating, but I think they breached that negotiation, so I don't know what exactly is gonna happen. But right now, we were negotiating in good faith with the city, and then now they're kind of backtracking and saying that they're gonna shut off all the water and the housing. That's why the meeting's taking place this evening, and that's why I gave out the notice to give you guys a heads up on what's happening. Or is, you know, kind of a riot going on in Lodge Grass, and what's happening, you guys are aware of what's happening, because these people are gathering together at 5 and kind of gonna walk over to City Hall. So it's gonna be a fun time, and right after that, the school boards will be a good day in Lodge Grass.
Mr. Speaker, I got a question of privilege.
Floor is Brendan.
Okay, thank you for this time to talk, members of the body and visiting guests. Kind of want to talk about the issue with the housing authority. I know that there's an understanding where we have outstanding backlog of unpaid rent. Am I right? Okay. And I understand that people are
Can I
complaining.
Can I get my report, and then we'll go to questions on housing? I didn't get my report on housing yet.
Okay, well, I still have a question before, right? Question of privilege? No disrespect, I just want to
Yeah.
keep this out there.
So is it pertaining to something else?
No, it's pertaining to the housing authority.
Or just let him get to the housing and then you can ask me a question then? All right.
Right now, there's 13,643 enrolled members as of, this will be as of Thursday. There's 184 low rental homes. Senior citizen apartments, that's 14 units. And in their agreement, their recertification, when they sign their lease agreement, there's a section in there where it says, this is a dwelling lease. If you go to, and I think it, under 12 miscellaneous, it says, if monthly rent is not current, the monthly floor per capita is to be dispersed, the authority will attach your per capita payment. So, going back in that number, there's 81 that didn't pay the month previous. And the people that live in those houses signed this agreement. So it's not necessarily the tribe holding these checks, it's that person that signed that lease agreement. 81 of them didn't, follow through with what they agreed upon. So 81 will be held, and just the individual that has the lease, not the dependents. And 103 tenants are making payments. So out of 184 homes, 103 are making payments, 81 did make payments. And there's only 9 out of that 184, only 9 are in compliance. So the AR balance for the Reno district is 513,000. That's how much people owe. Wyola is 142,000. Las Gras is 628. Prior, 425. So all these units, 184, they owe housing 1.7. And right now, if I take this and go to HUD and say, I need more homes, my people are homeless, just like you, when you go try to buy a car, they're gonna look at your credit. And if you're not paying, why would they give you a car? So that's what's happening to us. There's 13,643 crows, and 184 of them are fortunate to have homes. 81 of them aren't making their payments. 103 are making payments. And then we ask, why can't housing bring homes? Why can't housing bring more homes? How come housing isn't doing their job to bring more homes? Here's your answer. We owe 1.7. People aren't paying. Once these people pay, we're actually helping these people stay in compliance. When we take their per cap, we're keeping them in compliance. We're making them pay what they agreed to pay. And anywhere else, right now, we're at the second to the last. All the housing unit authorities throughout Indian country, the one that's in compliance is Flathead. And then you go down the line throughout Indian country, we're at the bottom of the list for people not making payments. And this is just the low rentals. If you go to Mutual Health, these are the houses that people, they have them on their land. That number is 4 million. So we're 5 million in the red in housing. And when I take that number and say I need more homes for my people, I'm going to say, well, pro-tribe housing, they owe you 5 million. These people aren't paying. How can you expect to have more homes? So that's why we're making this attempt, proactive approach to bring more homes, and we need the people's help to do this, because there's 184 people in low rental, only 81 aren't paying, 44%, only 103 are paying. And the bottom is $30 to make this payment. And the top is $250. Right now, if I don't pay my home, I'm kicked out. And these people, some of them, since they moved in, they never paid. And it's hurting the rest of us crows, 13,643. Right now, Speaker of the House, myself, and Chief Judge are living in trailer houses because there's no homes we can bring in. People aren't making their payments. So that's the big picture. That's why I brought this in, to make you realize that I'm not the one holding per caps. They signed this lease saying, if I don't pay, take my per cap. And if you want to go over to housing, look at the lease, it's right on there. And I know people are asking for their per caps back. I'm following what they agreed upon. So that's my report on housing. I'm pretty sure Carl will give another report on the same issue, because around this time of year, that's the biggest issue is per cap. If only these people would pay, we wouldn't hold any per caps. But they agreed to the lease.
Okay, go back to Brandon with this question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members of the body, elected officials, I guess. What I just wanted to kind of reiterate on is, I know I understand, everything what you're saying. But like I said, I get pounded with questions from my constituents. And as an elected official, you know, I take it serious that I address these questions, because I owe that to the people. And I understand that, I see it right here, black and white, that we're in red. But what I see also too, and I know it's kind of a constant fight, but I think there's a miscommunication with the people in the housing authority.
Right now, if you go and sit over there, right now, there's probably, all these 81 people are probably sitting in a lobby over there. And the only time these people show up is when their per cap is out. So letters are sent out to these people, letting them know they need to come in and recertify, need to come in to do the lease, and a lot of them don't come in. They don't, you know, we take it serious, but do they? These people, do they take it serious, or is it only serious when they have hold their per caps? Because the bigger picture is that 1.7 that these people owe, and you can't get homes because of that. Because, you know, right now, Ogallala can get 9 million because they're in compliance, and we can't. We only get 2 million. You know, Ogallala has, you know, housing, and then Northern Cheyenne has a bunch of houses that they build every year because they're in compliance. Over here, we're not in compliance, and that, you know, we're that's the bottom line. You know, we do work with them. We send out communication. They're probably sitting over there now with the director, and he can tell you how many of these 81 people he met with. They make an agreement and they'll come back.
Still on the question here. I know I understand where you're coming from. I also would like to, maybe, if we do have a representative, I don't know who the representatives for the district, for Wyola, if we could have, maybe outreach. I mean, I know that you guys are doing your best. You know, I'm not trying to say anything bad about you know, you guys are making headway. You got people with 103 making payments. But I think that we need to do more of a better outreach. You know, I mean, house to house. Each district representative should be going house to house visit. You know, and saying, hey, this is what's going on. I mean, I know you've been getting stuff in the mail, but you know, whoever the representatives needs to do their job and meet with people house to house. That's just what I'm trying to address from my constituents. Because I know they come to me and they're mad that they didn't get their per cap. And like I said, well, you guys, you know, you got to be in compliance. Because I know that's what I've heard from before, is they're holding per caps because they weren't in compliance. So that's what I'm trying to relay, and like I'm just trying to educate myself on this so I can report back to my people. Thank you.
Sorry, guys, Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, members of the body, guests, executive. Hey, once a month, $30 a day still. Is it just once a month, $30? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Hey, Duke's not here, but we'll go on over to CJ.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the report here. And it's an effort. We all know it's a problem. I worked there before. I worked there 2 winters during the time I was working with the roads, and they picked me up and I take care of some of the books and I take care of all the inventory and contracts and straighten things out. But, you know, I see that at that time, the lowest one was $20. And it's tough. You know, I went out, I fished out the moss. We got a lot of the things situated, the 184. We established a vehicle called the Finance Protection Procedures Act. And people can go out there and get loans and get their own home. Instead, they think, oh, we voted for you, you're gonna have to give us a house. Doesn't work that way. During the flood, Leif Haugen and his Cheyenne housing over there, they picked up more money during that flood and they weren't even directly hit. The reason why is because HUD awarded them because they're compliant. Sad to say, but it's true. Right now, I make a $1,268 payment a month. I'm afraid to say that. And it's tough. I chose to do that, but I'd rather pay that to the tribe. I built my own house, I designed it. I built that myself, and Crows helped me build it. I can say I built my own house. Nobody gave me a house. When I rented, if I didn't pay rent, I could get let go. Then I'd have to go look for another roof to cover my family. Right now, you want to talk politics? We're trading old votes for new votes, and 75% of your voter base doesn't even have a home right now. They're out in the cold. You want to come right down to it? Your politicians, your advisors, you're trading old votes for new votes. 75%. We want to talk politics. Bring it out. You got the numbers to back you up right now. And right now you got 13,643 Crows out there. Probably more. This is probably a guesstimate because I think we're almost to 14. And a lot of those.
This number is, what is going out as the cap, the road numbers as of April 10th.
And that's a lot. And you look at the people that aren't paying, you know, they come in, they get a job, a lot of them 80-hour clubbers, you don't see them, and they're all standing in line to get their check. Why aren't they at their stations? In the meantime, if they're not going to do something, let them pay for their house. Take it out of their check. Per cap is barely making it to 250. Barely making it to that point. And when they take that, yeah, it might be a hit. But shoot, look at all the amount of money they owe for these. And that means that grandchildren, people that are credible, they can't buy a home when they should have the ability to do that. The tribe should have the ability to supply their tribal members with homes. We shouldn't be in a situation where we're tied down because of debt and irresponsibility. When I was in HUD, some of you guys were here. We went down to Denver. Mr. Chairman was with us, and the person that spoke to us, we agreed we were going to do a new housing ordinance. Because right now, your housing ordinance is a 1953 document, only amended in 1976. Does not even recognize Nahasta, does not even recognize the new constitution. It recognizes and specifically says the Crow 1948 Constitution and bylaws. Right now, we're running on a dusty document that's dead. We need to establish new law here, and I've continued to relay that. We got ideas, plans, opportunities. We can bring a new ordinance in here, and Mr. Chairman, we can get some homes. I've done it for myself. I've helped others do it for themselves. Now let's use this to help the tribe for themselves. We can start anew instead of using these guys as a ball and chain. Right now, we can move forward. We need a new housing ordinance, Mr. Chairman.
All right, let's do. You could start like this.
Yake o cheri ro diso dela casa be. Bakka is not the phone channels. Dike o tsa. The chigi dike o good. Order. Yes, Yake for the new senators that were here. I again, we usually on housing's credit. Minute by usually se viu kola na ge wa pum shubwa. Ja, credit ke me ga bai la ge mo tai yon hem na housing yi la report today. Iguna tax message ke mo ku chme ki kara visibly visual buhash bill ga approach salama ke bijik ga so te wa housing is chill bin man. Ediu ta kai wa hissa wa ya wa you ga ina we ka we monash ki sawak Morazovtin, Bijik Bima, I'm in compliance now. Nawazu Animal Station, Kaina, Mamma Bradim Shade. Absolve again, one not shake go okay, yes, Beam off my gig awesome would tell you, one many last days, you. Javier Cook, no way absolve again.